Hey, what's up, guys? GFXLab, and I am a little bit tired actually. I have been working on this a little bit today. Well, actually, yesterday I did a Minecraft series, and I just didn't feel like uploading it because I wasn't feeling the commentary. Sometimes that happens, you know. But I built this like little mine shaft over here, and we'll check it out. And for those of you guys who've never seen this series, this is basic. The reason why I call it Mindcraft is because it's my mind, and I'm doing Minecraft. I'm really just talking about just random thoughts that I get throughout my life. Really, it doesn't. There's no real time frame to when my thoughts come and go. There's no real like things just come and go, and then I talk about it on here if I feel like it. If not, then you'll never hear about it. But I started basically trying to get all this mine all set up, and well, I wasn't really setting up anything. I was just kind of looking for diamonds and looking for resources. But for those of you guys who follow me on a normal basis, some of you guys know that I recently finally got back into the workforce. I finally got to get back into the game. Pretty much. Now I'm no longer mooching off the government. I am back in the workforce doing work. Well, I never really was mooching off the government because I had enough savings that I mean the checks that I got were all from my taxes anyway, because when you work at in Arizona, you pay a certain amount of taxes, so that just in case you get unemployed, then you get a certain amount of money back in return during your time that you're not working. And I got so much cobblestone. I might build something with that. But yeah, I had enough saved up that it wasn't a big deal at all. And I was just doing work. And now I'm so tired after 2 days of training. I got like pretty much another design job, so it's not all that bad. It's not as bad as some other stuff I could have been working on right now. And so it's pretty nice place to work too. It's pretty chill. I have a friend that already works there. He's a really awesome guy. I have there's a lot of other things going on that that are just pretty cool. I really can't complain about the job because it actually pays more than the last place I worked at. And I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next. I might want to expand or make like a castle or something, but at the same time I kind of want to continue my journey into to try and find another NPC village. But I think I've given up on that idea. I know that I don't know. I have so much resources saved up that I wish that I could mark this on well, there is a way to make a map. I just don't know how to mark. Well, I don't think you can mark things on a map, but it would be awesome. And like I said, I'm pretty tired. Sorry about that, guys. I don't mean to make you tired. I know yawning is super contagious, but I'll try to keep that to a minimum. Even though this might not be as long as the other Minecraft videos, and it's probably not gonna be as coherent because I'm pretty tired. But while I'm tired and the sun's going down, that doesn't help. I just got off a long session of playing some Modern Warfare 2, and I had to get off and soothe the nerves after playing that game. And I can't wait for Modern Warfare 3 to come out. I know you guys probably, I don't know, some of you guys are just only Minecraft, so some of you guys don't really care about all the Call of Duty stuff. I know there are some of you out there that are like that, which is pretty awesome that I have some people who are just strictly all about my Minecraft videos. And I know there are some out there because some of you have told me that. Some guy actually recently sent me a message saying, I listened to the first part of one of your Minecraft videos, and I had a really bad headache, and now my headache's gone. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty funny, actually. And I just opened that message just now. I'm trying to. Come on, man, go down, son. I want to start another day so I can go out and do stuff. Anyway, I am okay. So the first day of training was yesterday, and I did a commentary yesterday, but I don't know, I wasn't feeling it, so I didn't upload it. It was pretty fun, I guess. Well, it wasn't all that fun. I'm talking about not talking about the commentary. I'm talking about the my first day on the job. It was pretty amazing. I had a lot of fun. There was a lot of people there. There's a lot of awesome new people to meet. That's always a great thing. And there was just, it was an overall awesome vibe. There was some great people there, and I can't wait to finally get out of training, because training is an entire week long. So I'm in day 2 of training. There's 3 more days of training, and there's 3 more days of training, and after that, I don't know. I guess we get on into like doing what we were gonna do with the customers, and then life goes on. So I can't wait for that to start. My friend works there already, so he kind of broke down how things work there, and yeah, it's pretty exciting for me. I never really thought, starting work there, I kind of underestimated like what it would be like. I wasn't looking for much. I was just like, it's just like a place to work at for now, until I can get my bearings straight and do something else. But the more I'm working there, the more it seems more plausible place to work, and I'm definitely enjoying it. Let me see. I need 3 pieces of wood to make another bed over here. That was something that I was meaning to do, because well, I think did I already make a bed over here? No, I didn't. I need a bed over here just in case I'm mining, and I don't feel like going back over to my house and trying to avoid all the creepers so I don't explode. What can I build that would be amazing? Maybe I'll build a castle, or something that'll keep my time while I'm doing this. My nose is a little bit itchy. I know I want to find some more. Hold on. Let me turn the music down just a tad. There we go. I've been thinking about a few things. I've been thinking about, just some of the after I've started this job again, and I've sort of come into this new. I'm sort of doing all these different things now. I'm working with my doctor on this new like way of life, pretty much, and it's not all that different. It's really just the way I eat. That's really just all it is. But my doctor's helping me to basically just calm myself and become a lot more chill, and become a lot more relaxed. Because as relaxed as I might sound, or as my voice might sound, I'm a pretty tense and stressed guy. And a lot of it comes because when I talk to my family or my brothers, nothing ever goes right. Like, I always have to clutch situations, and I'm always having to be like the one guy who has to do exceptionally well, and sometimes I can't do well. Sometimes I don't perform, and when that happens, I feel bad about it, or I feel like I blame myself because I could have done something, or I feel like I could have went at something a little differently, and maybe the circumstances would have changed. And I feel like I've let everyone down, and that's just not me. That's just not something that I can bear or live with. I'm sort of like I am definitely a tryhard at life. I mean, well, not to the degree where I like it takes over everything. Like I'm not like out there like pumping iron like 20 times a day, let alone like one time a day. But I definitely want to, prove myself as best as I can to my parents and to my family. I definitely want to be like the favored person in the family. I want to be the guy who people come to because, or my other family members come to. Well, I don't want to say all my family members because I don't. There's some family members that I just don't get along with, and I just I like all right. So when I first moved out here into Arizona by myself, I moved out here to go to college, and I have family members that live out here, and one of my brothers, he said that he would take me in and he would help me out. He would give me a place to stay for the meanwhile until I find a job and find my own place and I start doing everything on my own. And I was like, yeah, that'll be awesome. I'll definitely, I'd appreciate that, and I appreciate you taking me in. And the first couple of days, like he was going to he goes to church like 4 or 5 times a week, and I used to be religious at that time, but I was at the point where I was actually at my peak. I was at the peak of my religion status. I was like super religious at that point, and I was not like a problem child whatsoever. At that point in time, I was not doing anything that would be deemed bad, or I was nothing like that. I was always the good person. I was always like the good guy, and I'd never, even if I did something bad, I would never get caught for it because no one would ever figure I'd do something like that. And I was always the friend that my friends' moms would trust because I was always apparently like the responsible guy in the friendship. Which wasn't always the case. Sometimes I instigated a lot of things. But that was just something that sort of people had expectations of me like that, and that's another reason when I grew up that I have this mentality where I'm like, man, I got to be the man in anything that I do, otherwise I lose my integrity. I lose everything that I'm about. I sort of lose the character that I've grown accustomed to. I've lose the me. And the more I think about it, it's funny because who cares if you lose you? I mean, you can become whoever you want to be, and I didn't know that at that time. Like I was still a little kid. I had no clue about what the ego was. I had no clue about it. I knew about integrity, but I didn't know what it actually was. And the more I thought about things like that, the more it seemed that that I started to get away from it because it just like took too much of me to remain that way. It took too much of me to be like the child or the person that everyone expected me to be. And I definitely wanted to make my life a lot easier than how it was for my parents and my family. But in the end, all that happened, all that struggle to be, to do something with my life, all of that, all sort of became mute. Only a few weeks after I moved in with my brother. Now my brother, like I said, he would go to church 4 to 5 times a week, and I went with him maybe 2 or 3 times of the week, and he definitely kind of felt like I was I was not doing my duties as far. But the thing is like his church. I didn't really agree with the pastor's views. I didn't agree with the person who speaks in the church. Because I was so religious that I knew like all the textures. I knew all textures. I knew all the I knew basically the Bible to a degree in my own, almost in my own terms. Like I had studied it pretty hardcore, and there was nothing that could deter what I thought to be knowledge at the time. But really, it's just information. And I really thought, that I had a really great grasp on what the Bible was talking about. When I look back on it, I have no I had no life experience. All I was doing was what all those pastors and all those people who are religious are doing. That is speaking about things that they have no clue about. There are some pastors out there who are genuine, who have definitely been through, some tough times, and who have changed for the better. Some of them were like, some of them were drug addicts and stuff like that, and they, being religious helped them, I guess in a way it helped them grow out of or give them the willpower to finally escape all that craziness that they were going through, all that pain and anguish that they had basically grown into. Because really what life is just you trying to accept yourself. Like the entire time you are alive, the only thing that you are growing to learn is that you should never be ashamed of yourself. That is all life. That is the life lesson that you will learn on your deathbed. That when you are dying, and you're just staring at the wall, and you're reflecting on everything that you've done in your life, the only thought that you will have in your mind is that nothing really mattered, and that all the things that you are afraid of, all the little times when you were judging yourself and you were harsh on yourself and harsh on other people, or judgmental of other people, all that did not matter. But at the time it does. At the time, everything that you are fighting towards, everything that you are trying to do your best at, all matters for you at the time. But when you're on your deathbed and there's nothing there, when there is nothing there for you to that can save you, and that inevitably you are going to be gone from the earth soon, you are going to say to yourself, man, I wasted a lot of time in my life doing a lot of things that I did not need to do. And all that accomplished for me was truly nothing. Nothing was accomplished, and nothing ever would be accomplished, because it doesn't matter if things are accomplished. And you'll learn that, like, on your deathbed, is that it doesn't really matter what you do and how you do it, because there's so many paths in life that you're going to have to eventually get through, that at the end everyone leads to the same thing, is to the same point, is that you are only the only thing that you are learning to live with in life is to accept your existence. That's the only thing that you're going to learn in life, is that you need to accept your existence. And for me, I think there was a point of like learning this lesson alone. There was a point where I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that saying. I mean, I guess for me it was that I didn't believe that myself coming to this realization. I didn't believe it. Like I was pretty naive. Like I said, I was naive and I had no clue what I was talking about. And there was nothing in my mind that could detract or that could say anything different. I was like, there has to be purpose in life. Like, why would there not be purpose in life? There absolutely has to be purpose in life. Otherwise, there's no reason. I mean, everything has to have purpose. And the more I think about it, the more hilarious it is, because there really is none. There's nothing that really is there other than you learning to accept yourself and accept everything in the present moment. Like I said in the last episodes of this series, is that in the end you just gotta accept the nowness, the present moment. And when you finally accept that, that's when everything will be revealed to you. All the things that you were looking for right under your nose. And I fought for a long time. I wasted 26 years up until now to finally figure that out. Some of you guys don't even know what I'm talking about, because it makes no sense. Because there is no sense to be made on that point. It's just, it is what it is. And like I said, things happen, life goes on, and even if you don't get it, eventually you will. You have to, because there's no other way, there's no other way to live. And if you don't, some people don't. Some people never figure it out. Some people just go about their lives and just do whatever they think is right, and they die, and some of them are happy that way. That's fine. That's totally fine. But there are some people out there who are stubborn like I am and won't allow that to happen. Man, I'm definitely thinking about building a castle or something over here. I wonder what's the easiest way to get rid of all this grass. I guess really it's just to go through and break all of it. What can I use to break all of it? I'll use a stick. I guess I'll collect the long grass as well, just so I can use it to make my own little farm here. And maybe I'll have a little farm within the castle. It would be kind of cool to find like a cliff, to have, my castle sit on. But I'm not about to go out and look for a cliff and carry all that supplies everywhere. I'm gonna just put it right here on this bank. This will be my castle for now, until I can find a bigger space, or until I get bored of it. Then I'll go out and make a new one. I mean, there's plenty of Minecraft series to go. I don't know when I'll stop doing this. I'll stop doing this when I totally get bored of this game, and I'm not sure how. I don't know. I love this game. There's no real time to change. It's kind of even though it's not really nature at all, it simulates nature in a sense. And plus it's a video game, so I mean, can't go wrong with that. It has absolutely nothing to do with nature. I mean, it's nature based, but it really has nothing to do with it. I guess it reminds me, it's reminiscent of nature. I love going to the park and just like sitting on grass and just, it feels like I I've heard from some people that when you walk around barefoot in grass, or say go into a forest and you take your shoes off and you walk around on the bare dirt and you feel the dirt underneath your feet, that you're actually releasing a lot of magnetic a lot of magnetism that has been stored up in your body. You're actually reconnecting with earth. And I can understand that, because there's a lot of rubber under your shoes, and all that rubber does, since your body is made of all these made of, you know, all these neurons and all these like electronic parts in your body, like there's all this tension still all stored up in your body. And since it's all stored up in your body, I can imagine that the charge is going, you know, around your body, in and out, and trying to escape to somewhere, but it just keeps hitting it wants to go out through the bottom of your feet, but it just keeps hitting the rubber and keeps bouncing back, and, you know, it just can't escape. At least that's what I've heard from some random source. But when you get out on like sometimes I just like going to the park and just sitting on the grass and just, you know, sitting back with you know, just like a nice, I don't know, book or something, or even just sitting back and chilling out and watching the people who are fishing. Because there's a park right near my house where a lot of people fish, and it's city fish. I would never eat that fish, or I would never like want to partake in anything that has to do with those crazy fish. But it is kind of fun watching the ducks walk by and watching people, you know, run by it while they're doing their exercises and stuff like that. And, you know, talking to the old people that are there. They're always nice people. I mean, I love talking to like older people, because they're just so chill about everything. It seems like I can relate to older people. I can relate to them. I can talk to them. They don't like care about the small shit like everyone else does. When I talk to people that are at my office, well, not at my new job, at my old job, when I was talking to people there, they seem to be really caught up on current events. Like, they would be so worried about like some war that they were not fighting, some thing that was happening in the news. They're worrying about like what's gonna happen on American Idol. They're worried about so much. And it reminded me of if you guys, I don't know, you guys should check out this video. It's it's not a video, it's a series. Well, it's a story by Pluto. It's called Allegory of the Cave. And the basic premise of the Allegory of the Cave is essentially the reason is, it's exactly the story. It's an ancient version of the story of the Matrix. So if you guys have some time, you should get on YouTube and go search for Allegory of the Cave, and I'm sure there'll be some really awesome person who can read you the story. Maybe if you guys want, I can read you the story next time, or the next Minecraft I do. I don't know if that is something that you guys would want to hear. But I definitely love that story so much. It's helped me understand a lot of things about life, and it's given me a great tool to gain my own perspective. And I definitely use things, you know, I use a lot of stories, I use movies, I use things like that to gain my perspective, because that's how you gain all your perspective. And I used to talk to people like saying like, oh, you don't understand because all you heard that from a movie. Like you don't understand, you know, certain things about life because you've heard it from other things. And to be honest, like the only way you learn about things in life is hearing it from other like avenues, pretty much, of life. You know, maybe you hear like an awesome quote and you can relate to it because you've been through an experience, but you just didn't really realize it. It's kind of, words and concepts and stuff like that are really, well, actually words in general are tools to point. They're not, when you say something about a certain object or a certain idea, when you use words for that, you're not really talking about the actual object. You're pointing toward. You use words to point. You use words to point in a direction. You don't really use words to fully like describe something so that someone can take whatever you've said in your mind and try and create it in your brain or whatever, and try and assimilate that into some sort of 3D image in your head. You take these words and you might imagine, what's going on with whoever said whatever they've said, but the real goal of a word is to point towards a similar experience, or to point towards something that that you both have been through, some experience or some object that you both experienced. And so you just got to think about that. Words are only used to point. Words are not the definition of things. Things can always change. Reality always changes. Reality won't stay the same all the time. Reality will, as great as science is, it cannot make something remain static. It cannot make, even though they say the speed of light is a certain, will always stay remain at a constant value, that even they know that it can change at any moment, and we won't even notice, because we will still apply ourselves to whatever that speed changes to. We will always be a part of that. We'll never know. We'll never know we'll never know how much the earth changes, because if we're not aware of it, if we can't sense it on a personal level already, like without tools and without instruments, then we would have never known that it was there to begin with. So things change in life. There is so much. There was a latest Kids React, and one of the guys, William, he's really, really cool. I think he's like my favorite kid on there. But he said something along the lines of, they asked him. They said, "What do you think unicorns exist?" And he said the universe is infinite. It could it could definitely exist. And I was like, man, like that's exactly the answer. That is exactly the answer, is that it could most definitely exist, because there is so much in this world that there's so much in this universe. The universe is just insanely vast. And the fact that he said that was just amazing. For a kid to say that it's pretty cool. I need to put this stuff in. Well, put some of my other stuff in here. Stuff that I don't really need right now. I have my other sword. Let me see here. Throw that in there. Torches. Well, I'll keep my torches out because I need that. Flowers, seeds, dirt, that. I keep that. Leather, sugarcane, saplings, and flint. Okay. I have all the stuff that I need. Well, I have space for stuff that I need. So I can fill up my inventory with all this, so I can build a wall for my castle. I'm getting prepared right now. I'm gonna go ham on this castle idea. At least for now. Let me see here. Hopefully I can get it somewhat done, and maybe I'll just do a little bit of this because I'm, like I said, guys, I'm pretty tired. Right when I'm done with this, I'm gonna render it and just go to bed, and I don't know when I'll upload it for you guys. Maybe in the morning when I wake up, I'll start it, and then I'll go to work and it'll just render throughout the night. We'll see, or throughout the day as I'm at work. Probably not gonna be able to check it because so I'll be at work when you guys finally listen to this. I'm just gonna guess like this castle. I'm just gonna make it however. Whatever size. I really don't care about trying to make it an exact width or an exact size. Oh, the wrong way. Oh, I'll clean that up later, I guess. But yeah, I mean, just it was amazing, like hearing that from that answer from that kid. His teacher, or whoever gave him that advice, must be amazing teacher. So anyways, there's just so much in this world that we use, like I said, we use words to point, and there's just so much in this world to point to that, to a degree there's enough to overwhelm you. And so what we do is we create things that are common amongst all of us, and then we say, okay, this is definitely a common occurrence, so let's deem this, let's make this a part of our language. Let's make this a part of the reason why we are alive, and let's make this a part of the reason why we do whatever we do. And then gotta go to sleep right now. Let's make this a part of the reason why we exist. And that's where religion came in, and then people got too involved. They got too indulged in the idea of those things like religion, and they got caught up in the words. They got caught up in the words themselves instead of remaining humble to the idea that all it's doing is pointing towards an experience that they may have had. And it's just sad. It's a sad thing to know that there are people out there who will never understand what I'm saying to you guys, and some of you might not understand as well. And it's understandable, because I didn't understand for the longest time. It took me forever to learn exactly what I'm saying. It just took me so long to realize. It took me a lot of pain and anguish to come to this understanding that things are not in life are not, things that exist and are in reality are not exactly as I see them. They are how I want to see them. And maybe one day I'll be able to well, I say this, maybe one day I'll be able to see things without having judgment, but that's not true, because when you grow up, and the way you grow up will always influence the way you are going to look about your life. If you are a sad person, then look in the past, like look in your history, your family history, your own history, like what made you feel so depressed, and what's put you down so much that you despise yourself. And then you'll figure out soon, what it is that is holding you back from accepting yourself, and you'll figure out what is actually deep down hurting you inside. And for me, I figured that out I like almost just recently, especially with figuring out the fact that I guess I kind of I despise my family to a degree. Like some of my family members, well, most of my family members, except like I told you guys, except for my little brother and my parents, Everyone else in my life, I just don't get along with, never want to get along with them. And as unfair as that may sound, it's not my fault. Now, I can definitely change myself and, try and work through those issues and try and become the better person, and by by accepting them for who they are, and in turn accepting me for who I am, and accepting the certain family members that I don't like. And that takes a long time. That takes a lot of work. That takes a lot. It's really, when you're trying to rehabilitate yourself, it takes a lot of uh of repetition. It really does. It takes a lot out of you to like change your ways, to become, the reliable person, to become the person who accepts the other person without without sticking without like sticking to the past, without remaining bitter about something that they had they had, like, my brother kicked me out of his house when I was still going to college, and I ended up sleeping on a park bench that night. And what I found was not the fact that my brother, I was, at that point, I sat down on the grass and I thought to myself, man, I thought the Lord and his people would help me, and I was abandoned by one of the Lord's most faithful. And that's when I started to really despise, being religious. Was when my brother kicked me out of his house for not being religious enough, even though I was super devout. And he kicked me out for that reason alone. But now, I had to go through that. Otherwise, I would have never known the incredible glory of nature itself, of just existence. I would have never known, that park bench. I would have never realized, I would have never come back to Earth. See, I was so incredibly mad at my brother, and I was sitting there tearing into the grass, like super mad, just ripping out the grass, taking all my hatred out on it, and I realized what I was doing. I was being harmful. And I could see how frustrated it was making me to see that my brother would do something like this, and that it was killing me inside. I was just so angry at my brother that I couldn't do anything, but I couldn't do anything about it because I was already kicked out. And I felt this, like, I felt the warmth, because it was summer at that time in Tempe, Arizona, or in Arizona in general, Phoenix. It's always like, during that time when he kicked me out, it was at night it was about 70 degrees, so it wasn't even cold at all. There was no real bad weather. It was just warm. It was warm outside. I didn't even need a jacket, and it was perfect. And thing is that day, the very next day, I met someone at school his name was Joe, and he was a black guy, and he also went to church. But the thing is, he wasn't religious at all. And I learned exactly why he goes to church. And it was not because he was going there, and he even told this to me too. I mean, this guy Joe, he taught me so much about life, just not even by explaining it to me the way I'm trying to explain it to you guys, because I think I can sort of verbalize like what I've learned in a sense, but what he did was he taught me by example. Everything from he basically, since my brother kicked me out of his house, I just met him that day. We were gonna work on a school project, and he definitely wanted me to help him because I was really good at programming and whatnot at that time, and we were working with like C++ and all this like other crazy stuff that at the time was pretty rough, but that's just what the curriculum we're studying. And he didn't know how to do it, and I was helping him that day, and I was just like, and he was like, I'm gonna have I definitely want to work with you some more because I want to learn how to do this. And I was like, yeah, it's fine, dude, just let me know and I'll help you out as best as I can. And when I said that, he was like, he sort of just smiled, and he was like, yeah, he's like, here's my number. He's like, he said, I definitely, we'll have to study sometime just because I want to get this all right. And he's like, also, I know a lot of fun places. He's like, I know a lot of. He's like, are you from around here? I'm just like, no, I actually, I was living with my brother, up until yesterday, but, I'm trying to find an apartment or something. And he was like, oh, really? And I went to this one place, and I really was trying to find an apartment. My parents gave me a couple $100, which in Albuquerque works. You can actually find an apartment for really cheap, like a really ghetto apartment. I'm not talking about something that I'm not talking about something that normal, that what some people would deem normal apartments. But it seemed like I think he sort of understood where I was coming from, and he was like, he was we didn't say anything after this. I didn't tell him that that I was kicked out of my brother's house. I didn't tell him anything like that. I just sort of mentioned that I was looking for an apartment, and that eventually I'd have that to deal with. And he understood that. He didn't really, it wasn't something that we were like all hung up over. I just mentioned it. I didn't really even go on about it. And he that night when my brother kicked me out, I had just met Joe that same day. So the next day, I went into class, and I had all my stuff was still in my brother's front lawn because it was just thrown out. I just didn't know what to do. I couldn't carry it anywhere. I couldn't do anything, and the park bench was actually by his house. So what I ended up doing was I went up to him, and I was like, "Hey man, I don't have anywhere to go tonight," and I was like, do you think I could sleep on your couch? And he was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, bro. He was like, definitely. He's like, we could talk about this project or whatever. And I was like, all right, for sure, man. Thanks, I appreciate it. Just like it was just that easy. And he was so glad to help. And I was just like, man, that's just that's amazing. And he was one of the first people that I actually got along with in college. At the time, he was like one of my first friends there, and I'd just been in there for a couple, maybe a week or so, and he ended up becoming an incredible friend. So me and him were talking about, what he did was he came over to my brother's house, And he was like, if that was my brother, I'd just go in there and beat the shit out of him. And I was like, I would, but he's like a lot bigger than I am, and he's known for fighting and stuff like that. I mean, but my brother is also religious, so I mean, I doubt he would even fight back if I did, but I'm sure he would. I mean, he is my brother. But man, when he kicked me out, I just felt like I can't even describe how pissed off I was and how much I wanted to do, how much revenge I wanted to do. But all I did was I told my dad, I was like, he kicked me out of the house. There's nothing, he didn't really give me a warning or anything. He just sort of told me to leave. And he didn't even really tell me to leave. All he did was throw my stuff out in front of his house, and that's it. Now these days, he's like begging my dad for money. These days, he's like asked me for money, and oh man, the more I think about it, the more pissed off it just seems. It still gets to me, even though it shouldn't get to me, because I've come to realizations with it. But I guess, like I said, you can only live with it so much. But my friend Joe, he became a really cool guy. Me and him would have like these. Me and him would just have. He would always have parties at his house. I didn't really, I wasn't really a party person. I didn't really partake in like any of the festivities that usually go on in college parties. But I at that time I didn't. And that was another thing Joe showed me, is how to have fun in college. And I got to meet a lot of a vast range of people. And I got to do a lot of things that I would have never done in my life. Got to go to raves, got to go to like different things that I would experience, and it was all because I was going against the will of. I was doing it because I wanted to totally shy away from all of the religious stuff that I had been taught, because I felt like it all like came crashing down on me, and it became something that was holding me back. It was like these chains that were holding me down, and they were holding me down mentally and physically, and I felt like I needed to release them somehow. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they're 4 high. I felt like these chains are just holding me back, and I'm definitely gonna have to do something about this. I can't be hiding. I can't be mad like this forever. I've got to go on with my life. I've got to do something fun. And Joe definitely taught me the ways of partying and having fun like that. And I appreciate him for that. And but the more so, I appreciate him helping me out in time of need. And my parents had let me borrow my dad's car, and I didn't have a driver's license, and they didn't want me to drive illegally, but there was nothing that I could really do. But Joe came out of nowhere and was like, "Hey man, I'll let you borrow my car to take the test." He's like, I'll drive you there. You can take the test in my car, and I'll even teach you how to drive. And he even like let me drive his car around the block, and he taught me how to turn signal and do all these things. And I was so grateful for that as well. I mean, it it was just such an incredible thing for someone to do for me, and that was something I'd figured like my brother would do for me. But it all that stuff I've learned is that, I mean, throughout my entire life I've learned that all the things that you're going to learn in life, all the people that you're going to meet, and all the expectations you have are always gonna they're never gonna come out exactly how you're expecting them to. and they will come. You just have to be open-minded about where they come from. Sometimes they'll come from the most random person that you never figured would ever want to help you. Sometimes they'll come from the person that you expect them to, but they'll just do it in a way that you don't expect them to. And for me, that was my friend Joe. I really didn't think that, that I was gonna get help from him like that. And the fact that that was the case, I mean, I'm to this day, I mean, I've actually lost contact with them. It's kind of sad, but it was so great. And that was my lesson when I moved to college, and up until this point, I've been thinking about religion so much, and it's been such a staple of my life that and the fact that I gave it up in such a strong, powerful way, and I learned something greater. See, religion didn't tear me away from something that I wasn't bound to learn anyways. What religion did was give me for every light you need shadows, and religion was the shadow that I needed to see the light. It was the opposite end that I needed to use as a contrast behind what I would eventually learn from nature. And I guess that was my main lesson in my time here on Earth. And if I could, there's always times there are always moments in my life where I'll panic to a degree, and I'll think, life is over. Like, I'll think, I can't believe that these certain things happen, or I can't believe that I'm going to do this tomorrow, or I can't believe that this woman has treated me like this, or I can't believe that my brother threw me out on the streets with nothing, with no food, with no money, and I had to sleep on a park bench. I can't believe that. But what ended up happening was I got to experience things that, I got thrown into the deep end. It was the same thing with my job too. Like when I first started at the last job I was at, if I hadn't been through those horrible methods that they used, then I would have never known what's good method, what is actual design industry standard method. I would have never been able to contrast the difference because I would have never had nothing to contrast it with. And that's something you got to keep yourself open to as well, is you got to be open for those contrasts. And you got to realize that with all the bad comes good as well. But you just have to be patient, and you have to be open-minded to accept it when it does come. Otherwise, you'll miss it completely. Oh man, I've been talking for a while now. I'm so tired, guys. I'm going to render this video overnight, and I'm going to upload it in the morning. And you guys should get this sometime tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly when it'll be up. But I hope you guys enjoyed this series of Minecraft, and I'll definitely end it as I go to bed here. If you listened up to this point, type in the comments section "go," and I definitely appreciate you guys. And for all of you guys that were kind of confused about the topic here, it was really just about being open-minded to, no matter what happens in your life, you just have to be open-minded. You just have to sit back and observe. until the right moment comes, and you understand your position, you understand the position of people around you, and make, I think there was some sort of teaching out there that says, or I saw it on a tweet, I think it was awareness without action is futile, meaning that you can be aware of everything like I was, but it's futile if you don't actually, like, you can learn about the being in the present, being in the now, but if that does not change you, if you're just aware of it, then and there's no action that happens, then it's just futile, and futile is actually good. Because there is nothing, there is no action there that you can justify, because being in the present is actually the action itself. Being in the present is a continuous action that keeps flowing in. And it's funny because that quote comes from a secret society that I learned about a long time ago. But the thing is, like, what they don't understand, even they don't understand this, is that the action of being aware, even if you're not doing anything towards, for them, I think their idea was a little more like about, politics and stuff like that, some sort of social norm. But for me, and what I'm talking about here, is that being present, like, say if my when my brother kicked me out of his house, say instead of me going into that shock and, like, pissed off, punching the dirt, getting really mad and blaming, religion and doing all that, imagine if I sat on the park bench, I smelled the grass, looked up into the sky, felt the warm Arizona night fall upon me, and I was able to listen to all the cars go by and listen to the sound of the bugs in the grass, and listen to the night sounds of people having fun driving around, and I was able to smell, the air and feel it as the breezes came by, and I was able to just sit there and maybe look up into the sky and look at the, look into the vastness of the night. Maybe I would have appreciated things a lot more. But the reason why I couldn't do that at that time was because I was not aware of it. Now I am. Now, had I been in the same situation, that's what I would have done. But since I'm not, since I wasn't at that time, and I didn't know that about nature and being in the present, instead what happened was I went into a very dark place. I went into a very dark, like, emotional place. I hit rock bottom, and I became incredibly angry at myself and at my brothers and at my family, my situation. I became just overwhelmed with hatred. I was just so mad. And what ended up happening was that became the background I needed to see the light which is nature. And for that, I can only thank my brother for his ignorance. I can only thank my family for putting me in that situation. And I can only thank life for giving me that lesson. And if you guys didn't follow along, or you guys didn't know what I was talking about, then there's nothing for you to learn here. It was totally meaningless. Hopefully you enjoyed my voice at least. If you guys liked this up until now, let me know by, giving me some feedback in the comments section. Send me messages like you guys always do. Give me a like. I don't care if you guys favorite it. I mean, I favorite things that I like to listen to over and over, or, just that's what it's for. It's not for some person to gain more YouTube money or fame on the internet, even though that's what they use it for. For me, that doesn't matter. I make videos for fun. I made this video for fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and have an epic night or day or morning if it is morning for you guys. But I appreciate you guys. Peace out.